Hello, my name's Alyssa, and this is Canadian Yarn Hoard. This is my new channel. I'm sorry, I have a cat that's trying to get in the way. This is my second attempt, so I'm a little bit scatterbrained. I do apologize. What I wanted to do and what I was planning on doing, but I forgot to actually start the mic, was to show you how I started this. However, I will do that with another one. I wanted to show you this beautiful hand towel I have made that is single crochet, 30 single crochets for about 17 centimeters or inches, sorry. Then I've done a border using a 3.5 to a 4 millimeter crochet hook, if I'm not mistaken. And then I did the border, and then I've made these cute little flower motifs that you find off of Amazon, YouTube. I will do my best to link the video down below. I have never done this before, so bear with me. I will be making plenty of mistakes. So this is for a coffee cozy, because one of the things I wanted to do with yarn is to showcase the different looks that yarn can have, especially with variegated, and to see how different they are to side by side. A lot of people will do a crochet swatch and they forget that knitting is a different style. It comes out with a different look. A lot of my projects, I like very simple. I like a very simple stitch, and I like to wear knitted cardigans. That's a big thing. I will crochet a lot of other things, but when it comes to wearing a cardigan, I tend to like the more knitted variety. They aren't as heavy, they're a little more breathable. I do very much like it. This is just going to be a coffee cozy that I have pretty much generally measured. I will start another one right now. So I will need to find a 4 millimeter needle, which, as you can see, I have plenty of, and it'll take me a second to find. Sure, that's 1/4, and I have to find the other red one, which I don't know if I'll do, but it's 4 as well. So now it's a matter of which color will we find first. A game I play very often with this basket, because as you can see, there's a lot of hooks in, or a lot of needles in here. Oh, just to make it even more fun. Now I got 3 colors to try and find one with. And yes, I understand, but I have OCD to an extent, and I like to use the same colored needles. So a little bit about that. Sorry, it's my thing. So here is my 4 millimeter acrylic needles. I do prefer acrylic. I enjoy acrylic. I don't know if I say I enjoy it better than wood. I do have some tips for wood. I do understand why people may not like wood. Actually, I will show this right here. This was my very first Furls crochet hook. Now, where did I put it? Should be here. There it is. Now it is this beautiful wood with blue sparkle resin, and it is a 5 millimeter hook. Absolutely gorgeous. I will show the camera. It is not picking up the details very, very well. I do apologize. Let's see if we can get it in the light better. There we go. And when I very first used it, I gotta say, was not a fan. Did not like this particular wood. So I have a little tip that my grandmother gave me when I was very young, and she taught me how to knit when I was very young. I was around 5 or 6 years old, so I've been doing this for about 40 years. And what she always told me to do with my needles was to run it through my hair. So what you do, you should take your hair and you run the hook back, or the needle back and forth. And that will oil the hook of the needle and will give you a really nice glide to your needle. These are a great way to condition your needle. I have not seen anybody use that tip. My husband loves this tip because one day my husband decided he wanted to scratch his head with it. So he used my needle. He asked for one of my needles. I gave it to him. When it came back, his oils are fantastic. They glide so nicely when he uses it. When I got this hook, and I really didn't like it, what I did was I made sure the hook got in my hair, and you wiggle it around, and then I used it. And the difference was night and day. It was so much better to use. I so much liked it better. I do recommend that tip to anybody out there who has wooden needles, wooden hooks, that they just didn't like them, maybe haven't conditioned them properly. So I will go on to tip number 2. When casting on, I have always and will always use a crochet hook. I do not like any other way. I will show you some of the other ways I do know. And another thing, I'm big on the center pull. I like my center pulls. Yarn barbs are a part of it. I accept this. Now, this one, I will, so you wrap it around, wrap, so you have it like this, tuck under, a loop here, pull your finger out, and tighten. I hope I did that well. I will do it again. Wrap around 2 hands, pull through, and tighten. Then I won't use the hook yet. I will put it on my thumb, put those hooks in. This is how my grandmother showed me how to cast on. However, she only ever showed me how to do 1 needle, but I have learned 1 needle. My cast-ons are so terribly tight. All right, sorry, because we're not doing hooks. We're only doing needles. You make a loop on your finger. 1. Ah, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now we're going to do 5 more. 1, 21, 2, 3, 4, 25. And that yarn chicken just got 1. Now, this is one way to cast on. You have a little bit more looseness. You can use a larger size needle. So you would go up to a 5 or a 6 cast on. You can do that. You can do a 5 and a 4 to give you a little bit more. I have always and will always prefer to cast on with a, I'm just going to do this quickly so I can find another one. So we'll do this one here. This one, what I will do is I will show you how I cast this on, this set on. What I did was, this is where we used the hook, and you can use the hook here as opposed to pulling through. You pull up and you have a loop. We'll try that again. And your fingers, you put the loop above, curl. Once it's on, tighten this one, this strand. Then you tighten this one, and this is your working thread. Now you grab the, actually I'm going to use this one, and then we will cast on 25 again. So you go in, around, pull through. around, pull through. You do that until you have 30 stitches on, around, and pull through. Now, if you are fighting with it a little bit and you don't like how much you're fighting, you can always go up with the hook size. That could help if you're finding this problematic. But I will tell you, the elasticity you get from having a crochet hook cast on is absolutely what I use for every cardigan I make, especially when I make a knitted cardigan, which is what I prefer to wear. You will have a nice elasticy, not tight edge, which especially for clothing is a much preferred thing. As I said, my grandmother taught me how to knit when I was young. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to hit the try button. Keep going. I have been doing this for 40 years with knitting. Crocheting is only about 16 to 20 years, and I was self-taught with YouTube on that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21, 2, 23, 24, and then the last one, what you want to do is take it and pop it onto the needle, and there's your 25. And that is how you cast on with a crochet hook. Very easy, very simple, takes a bit of practice, but a far easier way to cast on, in my opinion, than any other way I've used. So I'm going to put that in my, this is a Diaz, oh nope, sorry, this is my Omni crochet hook. I do have another brand I like a little better than Omni. However, if I'm going with Omni, these are a better design, in my opinion, for my hand than, I will say, this design. I am not as a fan of this design as I am of this one. It is a little bit shorter, fits my hand a little better. However, this will be good with Tunisian crochet. So they all have their place. I'll leave that out because we will cast off with that as well. And I will put that down. Now, I have multiple projects here on the go. I am almost to the end of this coffee cozy where I will be showing how to make it into a coffee cozy. So now that I'm at the end, or at least I want to measure pretty good, but I think I'm going to do one more row, and this will be my cast off. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast off the regular way on this one. So what you know as a regular cast off for knitting and crocheting, or for knitting, I'm sorry. And that's just your basic, leaving a large gap, not tightening it, so that it doesn't have a very tightened edge. So not so hard to get it wrapped around the cup when you get it on and off. It will have a little bit of give, but not too much. So we're almost done. And then what I'm going to do is I will show you how I attach it to, how I can make it circular and put it around the cup, allowing it to actually keep the cup warm. Because I don't know about you, but I have an extremely bad habit of making a tea. And then I think it's warm. It's only been, 20 minutes. And in reality, it's been an hour or two. And when I grab my cup, drink my tea, it's cold. And I don't like that. So what I usually do is wrap it in a coffee cozy. And that is my favorite cup. And then quite a few years back, actually, I'd say at the dollar store, I found these silicone, here, I'll show you it right here. It is a flat silicone piece. And what it does is it goes on top of the coffee cup and it keeps it warmer. So that'll retain the heat along with the coffee cozy. So now that I'm done this, I will run them through my hair again because that will clean them, make the oils better. And now, oh, did I misjudge the size or what? I can definitely make a larger one. So I did not get the size right. So I guess we have to do this again. Welcome to knitting. This is how it works. But it can also then show another way to get a precise measurement. As my guess is, around the bottom it was pretty good. So I have to increase. So that is an easy way to handle it as well. And yes, this is how it works when you knit and you crochet. Sometimes it goes smoothly, and sometimes it doesn't. So I figure, let me see if that's tight enough. I'm going to add more stitches, so we will do the cast on again on these. No big deal. Simple and easy to do. Almost got them all out. And there we are. That is actually what I'm going to show you this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crochet hook, and I do have plenty and lots and different styles. I have an obsession hoarding hooks and needles and all of that as well. So I'm sure you will see different styles, different types. I use all kinds. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28. Now what we're going to do, bring the cup around and we'll go around the base. So we will end up with 30. So now I will adjust the other two to 30, and that will be simple. 29, 30. Now, so that's 30. We will double check because, as they say, measure twice, check once. That'll be a good fit. So 30 it is. So now the annoyance is you pull it all back out, but you know for a fact that 30 stitches will fit your cup. So now when you cast on, you know that this 30 stitches will be, whoops, will be what you want. So let's do 30 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the last one is 30. Now, I always like to double check, just in case my math is off. Never hurts to double check. Elastic on the end broke. And if you wonder why I do have elastics here, it's sometimes the stitches will slip off. And yet another tip I have found is sometimes just putting an elastic at the end of your work, of your needle, will prevent it from falling off. You won't have to worry about losing a stitch. It can sometimes be a lifesaver when you don't know. So now 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. So we know we have 30. Now, for these, because as I said, we know that it's more than 25, I will have to pull this one out because I do not have as much on the tail as I need. So I will have to make a larger. Go. Get all twisted around. There we go. So now we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So there's the 30 for that one. And then for this guy, as we showed before, but the easy part with this guy is you just gotta add 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Could have been 6, but so we'll double check. You there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 26, 28, 30. It wasn't, and we're good. Now, if you were interested, that is the kitty that keeps knocking the camera. So she just wants to be a part of this. Her name is Maya. She's about 4 years old. Just gotta get the camera set right. And she is a lovely rescue from the Humane Society. And I'm very proud to have her here, but she can be a bit of a pain when she wants attention, as all cats can be. So now, that was me, sorry. So now what we're going to do is we are going to knit the row. Hello, Willow. And speak of my other cat, here he is. He will probably jump up on the table and get in the way. This is what they do, just so he can be in the window and be a pain in the butt. There's a few cats around my house. I really am easily distracted by cats and yarn, as I can show by my easily distracted by cats. And there he is. Okay, move your bum. By cats and yarn. As I knew he was going to jump up, he is going to join the video. Apparently, this is Willow. This is my sweet baby. He was born in the house from his mommy and his daddy. There are, don't knock anything over, please. Multitudes of them in the house at this point. And they love to try and take attention, as you can see. Hello, Willow. Are you going to create a problem? Go on. All right, you snipped the camera. Thank you. I don't imagine that'll keep him away for long, but we'll see. So I am just doing a knit stitch here. And then this will be a purl stitch. There you go behind. And I do go on the assumption you do know how to do somewhat of the basics. I mean, there are wonderful tutorials out there. I can and will show people if they're willing to ask. Just comment and I will definitely do a video on showing exactly how to do the basics. I do know I'm supposed to say like, share, and subscribe, but I do hope that if you do like my videos or you subscribe to me, it's because I've earned your like and your subscribe. I don't want to just be given it because I asked. I hope that you actually like what I do and what I offer, and that you subscribe because my weird, quirky personality will eventually show, as I'm sure those who know me will attest. And I imagine I'm not going to stop doing it, so I do hope that people enjoy what I do and they come back because they want to see more. So that's basically the first couple of stitches. I'm going to pause and I will be back when I have finished to right about there on the cup. So I'm back. This is how much I've managed to, and I realized there was something I did want to talk about. And that is, when it comes to yarn and knit and crochet, one of the main things that people I don't know if they know, don't entirely understand, the main difference is how much you use. When you knit, you use, I think it's about a third less of the yarn as to when you crochet. When you crochet, you're using a lot more yarn. Knitting uses a whole lot less. It is a simpler, much simpler craft that you can do. I very much enjoy both. Both have their place. Both have their desired effects. Both can be extremely beautiful, and just amazing work can come from both. I also believe myself that if you picked up a hook today and it's your first day and you want to learn, but you can only work maybe once every 3 years, you're a crocheter. It doesn't matter. You don't need to do this every day. I do. Oh, hello, Mama. This is the mother cat of the Willow. And now she wants to be in the video too. Hello, Bit. Her name is Little Bit, or Bella. Don't ask me why she's here right now, but apparently she is. No, don't. Stop. Cats and kids, animals and kids, the two things you can't exactly predict when filming, but so that was the mother cat of Willow. Maya is not a mother of any. I got, like I said, I got her at the shelter. Maya we got at the shelter. Bit we got at an Amish farm. 4 years ago now, maybe 5. We only had a couple cats at the time, and I'd always told my husband that if I ever found a cat on the road, cat come home. Well, we found a little black cat right at the end of our driveway, and I brought him in and knew I had to get her fixed. And just as we were going to get the money to do it, she walked in very, very pregnant. So, hence, I got cats. I do love them all, but sometimes they're a bit much. However, I am easily distracted by cats and yarn, as it says. Now, this is my hoard. I am a hoarder of yarn, crochet hooks and knitting needles and all that fun stuff. I love my hooks because, as most people, you might not understand that one hook is very different from another, even though they may look exactly the same. You may not like the one and you may like the other. I have many different styles of crochet hooks, and some of them I like a lot, and some I've been very disappointed in. I've bought some of the most cheapest sets off of Amazon, and they are my favorite sets I've ever had in my life. And I've bought some extremely expensive ones, and I can't stand them. Now, I do love my tulips. I have 2 sets of tulips. I do love them. They are downstairs right now, because that is where some of my yarn is. I will probably do a video showing all of my yarn hoard, and it is not very well kept. I'm slightly ashamed. I do not have a huge amount of room for all of my yarn, so I do tend to keep them in usually knitted bags or crocheted bags. And I keep, usually when I buy yarn, I try to buy 4 at a time. Don't always. This weekend we were at a beautiful yarn store in Muskoka called the Muskoka Yarn Muskoka Connection. I have a sticker here somewhere. So it is the Muskoka Yarn Connection in Muskoka, or actually in Bracebridge, I should say. And I only was able to get 2 of these absolutely gorgeous yarns. They are a cascade yarn. They are a cherub Iran print. It is nylon and 55% nylon and 45% acrylic. It is a medium. They do not say the color. They just say a dye lot of 03. I do adore them, but I was only able to get 2. So the next time I go there, I am hoping to get 2 more. And then I will figure out what I do with them, because I always try very, very hard to have 4. I find 4 is a really nice starting point. You usually have about 1 and a bit left over, but sometimes you don't. So it allows you to have a little bit left over, and then you can either make something new or you can come up with something different. You may have a scarf. I do know that future episodes I plan to do for my channel will be my glow in the dark. I don't think you can see, but I have this lovely bag right beside me of my very most cherished items. They are my favorite possessions, my favorite yarns. They all glow in the dark. 25 years ago, I think it was, I contacted Red Heart and I emailed them, and I had a few ideas for them to do glow in the dark yarn. At the time, they told me they didn't see a future for it. And I said, all right, whatever. And ironically, they now have a pilot for it, apparently. I adore this glow-in-the-dark yarn. Now, I do have some tips and tricks because I do work with glow-in-the-dark mica powders. This is a resin mica powder pencil holder, base. It does glow in the dark. It does light up. I do use it. Glow in the darks in a lot of things, so I understand how glow in the darks work to yarn. I want to do an entire episode on what you can use glow in the dark for, why that might be a great idea, how actual long they will stay lit. That is, I think, a big one. People are always saying how they lose their glow really quickly. They will lose a portion of the glow, yes. However, I can attest that at 3 o'clock in the morning last night, when I got up to go to the bathroom, you could clearly see this entire bag glowing. And when I do the episode, I hope to have a little video clip I will add somehow. I have not done any editing, so bear with me. I want to add it, and I will show you what it's like. I will show you the time. I will show you it is night out. It is like 3 in the morning. I will show you my watch. I will show you whatever you would like to prove to you that it is like 3 in the morning, 1 in the morning, whatever. And I will show you the glow in the morning at that kind of a time where it is still glowing really, really well. Now, this one particular has a purple glow to it. I have used a purple mica powder in it, so a lot of what I have on my table will have a purple glow to it. I wish the yarns would start changing the glow and using different mica powders. I don't know why they don't. I know that being able to have a red glow is something I have in mica powder, and it is a beautiful color. I know yellow, green, blue, white, all of them do glow. I have them. I have a pink. So They do take an initial charge. What I do recommend, this is a LED light. It will, here's a glow in the dark lighter. It will supercharge that. So you can seriously see the charge. The same will happen with the yarn. You won't be able to see it really well because I have all the windows open and that, but it really does do, it is the best way to charge. I got it off of Amazon in a 2-pack for $30, if I'm not mistaken. Yet again, I will try to link that. I bought it a few years ago, so if I can't find the one I purchased, I will find another one similar. Like I said, it's $30, worth it to me. I gave the other one to my husband. He's a mechanic, a road service mechanic, and he uses it to find, I think he said, coolant leaks in an engine bay. So he shines it around and it'll show him leaks. So there are uses outside of just useless glow-in-the-dark lights, but I adore it. I do adore my glow-in-the-dark. I've been a glow-in-the-dark fan since I was a kid. I was a kid in the 80s when glow-in-the-dark first came out, and I fell in love with it, and I've been in love with it since. So I do plan to do a full episode. I don't know how long these episodes will end up being, but I do plan to do one on glow-in-the-dark. I do have, I have some pretty good ideas. I know that I've spoken to people at, like, I think it was Michael's, about some of the ideas, and I'm pretty sure she went and bought glow-in-the-dark that night to do it. So I do plan to do that. I know for me, one of the things I really want to do with glow-in-the-dark is make a zero from Nightmare Before Christmas. That is one of my dreams. I will get around to it. I want to make a proper glow-in-the-dark zero. I think that'll look really cool. And a part of me is really hoping this channel will kind of push me into doing that now that I have a reason to do this. As you can see, I'm almost coming up to the end of Coffee Cozy. So what I will do now, after this rose, I will test it against the cup and we'll see how we like the height of it. It will, I want to say it'll droop a little sometimes. Gets looser, sometimes it droops. But I do absolutely love having these cozies on my cups because they do keep it warmer. They keep it a little bit warmer, which sometimes when you're like me and you're a crafter, you may not always realize your tea is cold. So that is a little low, so I'm going to keep going. Probably only about 2, maybe 3 more rows. And if it's 3, I will cast off with the crochet hook, which is an easy way to do it. Yet again, it leaves no tight edges. It allows for a really nice, kind of elasticy without being elastic border. And it gives a bit of give to get it on and off the cup because you need just a little bit of give. Not a lot, just a tiny bit to get it up over the handle, because if you have it too loose, it won't stay on the cup properly. And you have to grab it first, and you know, you want a nice tight coffee cozy if you're anything like me. So now, we did 1, 2, and yes, I have been able to do this long enough that I can do it without actually looking at my hands. It used to blow my mother out of the water when she used to watch me watching TV as I knit. I can do it with crochet as well. I'm not as good with it, but with knitting, I'm good. I quite enjoy, like I said, done this for 40 years. I enjoy all aspects of it. Yarn is my passion. It is my absolute favorite thing, short of my family. Just a simple girl who likes some yarn. So that's 2. So now what we'll do is we'll measure. I can do the third one and then I can cast off. I can see that there should be enough. And if I was doing a crochet cozy, I do make them a little differently. I do tend to start with a circle, the magic circle, and I do the increases until I get about the bottom length, and then from there I start to grow it up. And I do like a thicker yarn. I did like the cotton for this. That's why this is 100% cotton. That's why I use it for a hand towel. And I hear you, Maya. And cotton has the nicer advantage of it will burn, but it will smolder first. So it is better for that. However, the next thing that cotton is really good for is absorption, which is why I like it for hand towels. Because you want to absorb the water or moisture off your hand. So now you're gonna, I should show that at the beginning. Sorry, still getting used to this. So what you want to do is you take the hook and you go into the first loop and you pull out. So you're in the hoop, pull it off, and then you go into the second loop. You pull out, so you have 2, and you pull through the 2. And you go in the next loop, pull it off, and go through the 2. So in, loop, pull, loop, through, and repeat. So try that slow again. In through the loop, over, pull it out, off the needle, and put the loop around the hook again, and pull through 2. So in, around, and off it goes again. And when it falls off, sometimes you just got to repeat it. No big deal. And as I said, if this hook is not the one that you want to do it with, find a different hook, because the yarn and the hook can all change. Sometimes these hooks are great with a different kind of yarn, but they're not so great with cotton. It is all in what your preference is. I always say, if you see a tool you want to get, go for it. Try it. See if you like it. You might like it, and therefore, it may become your favorite. So right now, almost done. 10 stitches left. There we go. Yet again, as I have stated, crocheting goes through about 3 times more. So when you're doing something, you usually use a lot more yarn. And there is the last stitch. So there it is. Now we're going to put it around the cup. And that'll be good. So now we want to do about 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you want to take scissors and cut that off. Now, I always sew and darn when the project is inside out. now. Grab this. And what we'll do with this bottom one is we just adhere the 2 stitches. So you go into the first stitch on the bottom and you tighten it up and you go into the stitch that the yarn is on. So you just want to tighten that. Get nice and tight. I sometimes like to loop it and then I've knotted it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bury your end. So what you want to do is you want to take it and you want to go all throughout these little loops. And you just want to make sure that these little loops, and you just kind of go back and forth, and then you come back out, and that is how you darn it up. I'm going to take it. Now, one of the other tips I like to do, because I do use resin a lot, and I'll show you right here, is I put mine in an ashtray I've made, my little ends, and then I'm hoping on a future episode, I am excited to hopefully one day get a yarn spinner, and I will learn with you on this channel how to spin my own yarn ends. That's what I'm going to do with all of my yarn bits. So I think that was a brilliant idea I came across this year. And I thought, what a great idea to use up your yarn, make new yarn with it. And then mine will probably always have a little bit of purple in it because I do tend to like my purple. It is my favorite color. So with this, what I did was I found that top stitch. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of loop around those 2 top stitches. Make another loop around the needle so it's a little more secure. And I'm going to go back this way along the one I cast on, because where the chain is where the white is, which will match the yarn end, so it won't look odd or stand out as I'm running it back through. And I definitely recommend you really tighten this end, because this is the end that will get the most abuse from being pulled on and off a coffee cup. So here's the last part. Snip the ends, put it in there. Oh, it already is flipped inside out. And then you put it on the coffee cup. Down. And there is a perfect coffee cozy for you. And the nice part here is, as I said, here is a knitted. There is a knitted version of what the yarn looks like. And there is the crocheted version. And they were both 30 stitches. So that is a really accurate representation of how the yarn looks. Now, this yarn, I will have to grab something quickly, so I will put you on pause for just a quick second. So I didn't say where I got this particular yarn for the yarn cozy, the coffee cozy, and the hand towel. I got this particular yarn from Len's Mills in Barrie. I'm not 100% sure of the address, but I do know it's just off of, it's near Duckworth. This is how they come in these balls. This bag is a little more filled. There is the price. I got it within the last year or 2. It is a pound, and it does say on it 100% cotton. So it is just the factory mill ends from Len's Mills. I do have a bad habit of when I go in there. That is one of the first things I aim for, is yarn ends, because 4 of these can make a blanket. at $11.99 at 4 of these. You can make a knitted blanket. That's nice and well done. I've ran into that people don't understand the price of yarn. They don't understand how much you use. So when you're making things for people, they don't necessarily understand the effort or the cost. And I do want to try and help that. So I will try and show that where I can. As I said, I want to show the difference between crochet and knit so you can see the difference better. A lot of people will show crocheted items and then they'll do something like an Aldi, which is a loom. I prefer to use my needles and my hooks and show you that there is a big difference. Yes, I am new at this. Yes, I will make mistakes, and I am so glad you're here. I hope I have entertained you for an hour. I will be doing a little bit of daily updates to show you what else I'm working on, not just what I do for the videos, because I always have another project on the go downstairs. So I will be doing daily updates showing you that so that some people can understand, if they don't, how long a project can really take to make. It can take a month for some people. It can take, if it takes me a month, it means that it's a very hard project and it takes a long time. I just want to show people that it takes time, it takes effort, and I hope that I made your day, and I'm very glad to see you, and I hope to see you again. Thanks for coming.